What is going on, kings and queens? Hopefully you all have a blessed and beautiful, amazing day. In this video, we're going to be talking about the 5 demonic strongholds. Now, there's so many more. I just came up with these 5s. I can make 100 of these, right? But 5 demonic strongholds that are holding you back as a trader. And first things first, I want to say, you guys got to understand that this is all for, the Bible says in Ephesians that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, we're wrestling against spirits. This is a spiritual battle. This is a spiritual warfare that we're dealing with on the charts, because you got to understand the whole psychology thing of like FOMO, greed, fear, doubt, anger, like all this type of stuff, right? As like the psychology aspect of things that most traders like struggle with. These are strongholds, because this isn't the metaverse. This ain't no on and off switch. You can't be dealing with this type of stuff. You can't be, let's say you have self-doubt in your real life, and you are afraid in your real life, and you're trying to please man in real life, and you have greed, and you're doing corn and masturbation, all this type of stuff in real life, right? And then flip the switch, and then all of a sudden come to the charts, and you're the most confident person. You don't have greed. You're so patient. You're doing this for yourself and your family. You're not trying to please man, and like it don't work like that. It don't work like that. So if you're struggling with these things on the charts, that means you're struggling with it in real life. So the Bible tells us to examine ourselves daily. Like, we got to be honest and be real with yourself. And if you don't know the strongholds that you're dealing with, ask God to reveal them to you, and he will show them to you. So let's get started with number 1. Yes, corn. I don't know if you can say it on social media, but corn and masturbation. Let's go to these 2 scriptures right here. Matthew chapter 25 and James chapter 1. Real quick, right? So you have heard that it was said by them of old time that you should not commit adultery. And this is Jesus talking, by the way. But I say unto you that whosoever looks on a woman to lust after her commits adultery with her already in his heart. In James chapter 1, this is very deep, verses 13 and 15. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempts he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away from his own lust and enticed. Then when lust have conceived, it brings forth sin. And when sin is finished, it brings forth death. Now you guys gotta understand, lust is not just like fornication, sexual desires. Lust can be, you can be lusting after money, you can lust after attention, you can lust after like food, like gluttony and that type of stuff right there. So that's something to always keep in mind. And you may ask, like, how does this correlate with trading? What do you get when you do these type of things, right? Because I used to do this stuff, right? Like, we all, like, be real. We all have done this stuff. Or if you're still doing it, you're still struggling with it. Hey, repent, give it up, and just keep fighting, right? Nobody's here to cast stones. But when you do this type of stuff, what do you get? You get that quick dopamine rush, that quick dopamine hit that you get from releasing yourself, right? As a man, and I don't know what it is like for women, but like, you guys get the point. But you get that quick dopamine hit, and guess what? That correlates to the charts as well too. Because what happens? What start happening? You get that. There's gonna be, like, I'm gonna say 2 things and then I'll go to the next one. But like that dopamine hit of, you get that quick dopamine hit, that dopamine rush, that like you feel good for a minute, and now all of a sudden you feel terrible. Same exact thing correlates to trading. Think about it. That dopamine rush comes from CPI, comes out at 8:30. It's 8:29, and you see 8:30 drop in price, spikes up, and you're hoping that price goes up. So you decide to over leverage a little bit, risk a little bit more, just to get that quick dopamine hit of being in and out the trade. Or your strategy told you that you shouldn't get into this trade, but you want the dopamine hit of just being in a trade, that FOMO, and you just try to get in. Or once again, the dopamine hit, like you have a $100 account, but you're trying to make a, I don't know, $5,000 trade with $100 account. So you try to throw a 20 lot up there, margin call, margin error, won't even let you press it, but you try to risk your whole account in one trade. From that, to get that quick dopamine rush. This all plays a factor in it, and that could stunt you as a trader on the charts. But think about it as well. When you do that, like releasing your seed and you're doing the masturbation, all that type of stuff, like you feel terrible afterwards. Like, yeah, in the moment it feels good, and then afterwards you're like, I feel so terrible. Like, I fell short again. Like, you just start beating yourself up, and you do the same thing on the charts. You start beating yourself up once you do that in X, Y, and Z. Real talk. And the reason why, like, hopping on semen retention, and if you're married, no fab, because this plays such a big role. Because once you overcome this type of stuff, you start being more confident, and you start being more patient on your charts. You're not trying to rush setups. You're more confident in yourself. Like, you second guessing if you should enter the trade or not, forget about it. You understand, like, you've back tested your strategy. You know your strategy works. You don't even hesitate. You're not somebody who's like, okay, you see the setup and a big move plays out, and you're not over leveraging, over risking. You're okay. You're good with the profits that you made. You're not trying to rush. You're not trying to catch every single trade. And if you go on a little losing streak, guess what? That does not waver your confidence whatsoever. You lit, you hype, you active. So that's number one. Keep that in mind. Number two is greed. And there's a lot of scriptures. Like, you got all these scriptures right here. Hebrews talks about it, Timothy, Luke, Genesis. Because the issue is, a lot of people think that if you are a man of God or a woman of God, like, if you make a lot of money from trading, you're evil, you're wicked, you're X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And that's not the case. When you are loving, that's why the Bible says the love of money. When you are greedy, when you're trying to have greed, because the only reason why you're trying to make money is to get back at those people that did you wrong. The only reason why you're trying to get money, because you just want all the materialistic stuff. That's all you care about, just getting the material. Like, giving back to the homeless, like, that's not even on your mind. Like, giving back to those in need, giving back to the poor, you know, helping out your family, honoring your mother and your father, taking care of your brothers and sisters, spreading the truth, trying to put people on game. Like, you're making all this money and you're not trying to put people on game so they can do the same thing as you as well. All you care about is Lamborghinis. All you care about is attention, because you know that if you get a bunch of money, you can get all the most beautiful girls and top tier girls and all that type of stuff. As a man, same thing for women. But you can get all the most beautiful women if you're a man, men if you're a woman, right? You can get the Lamborghinis, attention, likes, views. Your business will go crazy because you're showing $20,000 profits, next one Z. Like, you just become so all almighty in man's eyes. That means you're greeting after that. You're not doing it for righteousness' sake. But the Bible tells us not to love the world, neither the things in the world. Any man that loves the world, the love of God is not in him. And the reason why the Bible says it's hard for a rich man to make it into the kingdom of heaven, because when you are, all you care about is your materialistic stuff. If you lose it, you're done. If you lose your Lamborghini, you're done. If you lose all the money, you're done. Like, you lose all your faith, you go back into sin. If you lose the girls, like, if you lose, like, you're done. You feel like it's the end of the world for you. It's no point. There's no hope in being alive. Think about it. That's why a lot of people delete themselves. That's why a lot of people commit, you know, I don't know if you can say that online, but that's why a lot of people delete themselves. You know, because they lose the money, they X, Y, and Z, they don't live up to certain people's expectations, and they, you know, delete themselves. But you guys are going to understand. Look at the righteous men in the Bible. Even in Genesis 13, it talks about it. It says that Abraham had a lot. Let me go to it real quick. I think I have it up here. Yeah, right here. It says right here, Abraham was very rich in cattle and silver and gold. And God loved Abraham, and Abraham was a righteous man. Abraham was very righteous. God loved Abraham. So was Lot. And Lot had so much. These two men had so much wealth and so much herds and flocks and all that type of stuff that there was strife between the two. And they had to say, like, yo, you pick this land and I get this land. It wasn't just one house. No, it was a full, like, land. That's how much abundance of things that they had, that they couldn't even be there. Solomon was a wealthy man. Joseph was a wealthy man. Job was a wealthy man. All these people were wealthy men. They were kings. You don't think of a broke king. These were wealthy men, but these were righteous men. God gave them the power to obtain wealth. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18. When God gives you the power to obtain wealth, don't forget it was him that gave it to you. God gave them, and they remembered that. And they knew that why God gave them the blessing. And they wasn't like, guess what they were doing? They had the money and stuff, but they were still spreading the truth. They were still showing love. They was giving back to the poor. Think about it. Joseph, he was giving back to the poor. He was giving back to his brothers. His brothers betrayed him. Joseph was an almighty king. Like, they were bowing themselves to him. They didn't even know it was Joseph at first. But Joseph was a almighty person. He didn't belittle them. He took care of them. He loved them for what happened. Look at Joseph. And God loved that. God loved Joseph. Abraham, God loved Abraham. Abraham wasn't showing off his money and X, Y, and Z like he's better than anybody. Look what Abraham was doing. He was giving back. He was making sure people, you know, he was praying for people. Abraham was doing so much. Like, he even gave Lot. He said Lot. Abraham told Lot. Abraham could have did whatever you want. Abraham told Lot. He said, hey, man, you go left, you go right. You pick whichever one. I don't care, man. Whichever way you go, I'll go the other way. Like, we in this together, bro. Like, That's why he was blessed. That's why he had all of that type of stuff. So that's something you got to keep in mind when it comes to the greed aspect of things. What are your true intentions? And what that can do is hold you back because you start being ungrateful. You're trying to rush things, like you made your first $100 day, or because it's not $1,000, because it's not Lamborghini lot sizes, like you're beating yourself up in X, Y, and Z. You see somebody make $50,000 and you see your $500, and this actually correlates with self doubt. And number three, we can go to number three as well, but like self doubt, like you make $500 or $100, somebody else made 50,000, you're like, I only made $500. When there's somebody who just made $0, somebody who just went bankrupt, somebody who's broke and poorless and homeless, who they only made $5 for the day, but yet you made 500, and yet you're complaining and beating yourself up. Why? Because you don't have the Lamborghini yet. Why? Because you're still maybe staying with your parents, or because you're not living the most wealthy, lavish lifestyle, and you're not traveling and all this X, Y, and Z. But you guys got to understand, like, for example, me, I've been trading for 4 years. I have not been, I'm 24 years old. That means for 20 years of my life, I have not traded. 4 years I've been trading, 20 years I have not traded. What's the rush? It doesn't make sense. What's the rush? If I went 20 years without trying to, like, do X, Y, and Z with trading, why not look at the long term? Obviously, it's not going to take 20 years, but it's like, why not look at the long term play of that and use that type of stuff? But when you have all the self doubt, what you start doing is second guessing your strategy. You start second guessing if you're worthy. You start second guessing your trades, and what that causes is all of the other stuff, greed. That's not like you start having greed, because think about it. You second guess. You were supposed to get in this one candle, but you're like, I'll wait one more, and then you wait that one trade, and then boom, like you try, like now price starts shooting up, and then you have FOMO, and now you have greed. Now you try to jump in the trade, and as soon as you get in, price starts retracing to X, Y, and Z. Like, this is the one thing I want to say for greed, right? Let's put this into perspective, and I'm telling you guys, these are all strongholds. When you wake up, not a single person wakes up. I hope not, but nobody wakes up and says, "Yo, I hope I don't forget how to tie my shoe. I hope I don't forget left from right. I hope I don't forget how to brush my teeth. I hope I wake up and I don't forget how to walk. I hope I don't forget how to drive. I hope I don't forget how to get home. I hope I don't forget this." Nobody wakes up, because you've done these things 1,000 times over and over and over again. So if you don't overthink that or self-doubt yourself for that type of stuff, think about it. If you've been putting in all the work, you've studied for hundreds and thousands of hours, you've invested thousands, however much, in courses, you done watch hundreds of hours of courses, you done back test, you done like eat, breathe, sleep with candlesticks for days and days and days at a time. Like, you've been studying so much. You didn't study your strategy. You already know how your strategy works. You know the ins and out of your strategy. Why are you still second guessing on getting in the trade? But you don't second guess on if you're left from right. I'm telling you, this is a stronghold. That correlates to the charts, right? So number 4 is seeking to please man over God. And the reason why is because, think about it, when you start trying to please man, you start moving differently. Like, you can do worldly things, you can lose yourself, because all you're trying to do is you're trying to, sorry, my dog is, I don't know what she's doing. Give me 1 second. Sorry, my dog is thundering, and she's like scared of thunder. So she's trying to like find somewhere to hide. But all you're trying to do is like seeking to please man. All you're trying to do is you want to get the Lamborghinis and stuff like that, just so you can show off to that ex that dumped you, or those friends that, like, you know, told you off, or your family that, you know, wrote you off because they said you were never going to be nothing. And there she is. But that's all you want to do, is make the money for that. And once you start doing that, you're just getting further and further and further away from it. Like, you're trying to show people that you got money, you're trying to show people X, Y, and Z. Bro, that's just bringing you death, because you're never going to be at peace. What seeking to please, that's the one word that I can say. If seeking to please man over God, you will never find peace with that. You will never, ever find peace. And the reason why I say this, because no person, not me, not you, or a single person, not even Jesus himself, will be loved by everybody. I don't care how much you try to do to try to please man. Jesus was perfect, and they still hated him. None of us are perfect. So what makes you think that you're going to be able to please every single body? You get all the money, guess what? You're still going to have people in your comments that hate you. You all the money at X, Y, and Z, you're still going to have people that hate you. You are never going to be able to please everybody. And guess what you're never going to have is peace. And guess what you're going to be in this constant, in this cycle. I need more, 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 more. You done, God done bless you, you know, this your plate right here. And you sitting over here looking at this person plate and that person plate, your food getting cold. God done bless you with everything. And you want more, 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 more because you're trying to please man over God. Something to always keep in mind. And number 5, the people you surround yourself with. We know the scriptures, evil communications corrupt good manners. We know Proverbs 13 verse 20. If you don't know, let's go to it real quick. Proverbs 13 verse 20. If it'll load. He that walks with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. And understand this, when you surround yourself around like those backstabbing, those so-called real friends, but they slight hating on you behind your back, like, boy, so many, man, I can make a video just on the type of people to not surround yourself with, right? But let's say, for example, those people that are just in your life, so-called showing you love, and as soon as you make that big profit, as soon as you start leveling up and going crazy, all of a sudden, I knew you could do it. I'm so proud of you. And guess what? They start using you. They start using you for your money, and they start, stealing from you. They start, yo, bro, like, you think you can help me out with X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And they start draining you. They literally just keep draining you and draining you and draining you and draining. They always hit you up because they need something. They just keep draining you. Or those people where you, let's say, make your first big day, your first $1,000 day, your first $5,000 month, your first $5,000 day, your first whatever the case may be. You make a big day, and they're sitting here like slaving away at their job, barely making half of what you just said that you made. They try to feel like put you down. It's like, oh, like you think you're better than us, or like X, Y, and Z, they try to just downplay, and they try to jokingly make joke. Anybody that does that, bro, they're never real. That's something I always keep in mind. If anybody, like, you have an accomplishment and they try to hate on you in a jokingly way and try to laugh it off, no true real friend will ever do that or try to bring you down. Just always keep that in mind. And what that starts to do, when you surround yourself around these type of people, these wicked people, that just brings you down. Now you're just like self-doubt, like you done made X, Y, and Z, you done made it, and guess what this correlates to? Every single thing that I just said. Because when you feel like, oh, I just told this person that my best friend, and they downplayed me, it's like, damn, like, now guess what you start doing? You start self-doubt yourself. Now guess what you start doing? You're trying to seek to please them. So what? Do you need to make more? X, Y, and Z. Now you have greed. Now you falling short. Now you going back to all of this stuff, right? So this is something I always keep in mind. Always be aware of the people that you are around. You don't want to be surrounding yourself around people that just make trading harder for you. Because think about it. Most people aren't trading. Most people don't do this. And on top of that, like, you want to surround yourself, sorry, it's like lagging a little bit, but you want to surround yourself around people that are on that path, like how you are, really trying to strive, really trying to get better, like, trying to surround, there's nothing wrong with it because not everybody a trader, but just surrounding yourself around, like, people who tried trading and they failed, and all they're doing is fear-mongering people to not trade. What do you think they're going to do with you? Versus you surrounding yourself around like-minded individuals who's trying, who's on that path, who's not doing all of this stuff right here, who's really trying to do things to seek to please God, and it's nothing but genuine love. Like, you see them when they made their first X, Y, and Z, if they want to share that, they made this, you're truly genuine happy for them. You're inspired by that person. Like, yo, this is my boy, or this is my girl, and, I'm inspired by it. They did this, yo, it's possible. And vice versa, they're the exact same way with you. They don't look at you as like, oh, X, Y, and Z. They look at you as an inspiration, and they uplift you, and they congratulate you, and they want to see you, like, if you fall short, because we all fall short, but if you fall short into one of these, you have those people that instead of putting you down even more, they pick you back up. You fall into that self-doubt. You may blew an account, and they right there beside you, picking you up. It is like, knock it off. They giving you the scriptures. They really just helping you get through it, and they give you back that confidence that they help you, right? These are the type of people that you want to be around. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. These are 5 demonic strongholds that are holding you back as a trader. We got number 1, corn and masturbation. Number 2, greed. Number 3, self-doubt. Number 4, seeking to please man. And number 5, the people you surround yourself. Make sure you like this video, comment, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what other topics you guys want me to share. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.